Carbohydrates. Let's look at an outline for carbohydrates. Okay, there are two major types of carbohydrates. You have simple carbohydrates, or simple carbs, and complex carbs. Okay, most of the time simple carbs are going to be sweet. It's actually not most of the time. A characteristic of simple carbs is that they're going to taste sweet. Okay, there are two categories of simple carbohydrates. There are monosaccharides and disaccharides. Okay, monosaccharides means that it's one sugar unit. An example of a monosaccharide would be glucose. Another example would be galactose. And a third example is fructose. All of those are 6-carbon sugars. All those sugars can be anywhere from 4 to 12 carbons long. Disaccharides are going to be two sugar units. A common disaccharide is sucrose. And sucrose is table sugar. Okay, your complex carbs. These are going to also be called polysaccharides. We've talked about a couple of polysaccharides. One is glycogen. Glycogen is the storage form of glucose in animals. And you might recall that 1/3 of that is going to be in the liver, and 2/3 of it's going to be in muscle. Okay, so whenever we talk about the liver stores glycogen for in between meals, that's what we're talking about, is that 1/3 of the glycogen is stored in the liver. Starch is the second polysaccharide. Starch is the storage form of glucose. In plants. Okay, it sounds like glycogen and starch are the same thing, but really glycogen is going to have a different angle of bond, something like this right here, and starch is going to have a downward spiral of bonds, and so that's why chemically they're actually different. Okay, the third type of polysaccharide is fiber, and fiber is going to be soluble and insoluble. So there are two types of fiber, soluble and insoluble. When we look at what is going to be absorbed across the intestinal lining, your monosaccharides are able to pass through the intestinal lining so that they will stay in the blood, they will go into the bloodstream and then they go to the liver. Disaccharides and polysaccharides are too large to be absorbed across the intestinal lining. Fiber, soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. The human body doesn't have enzymes. There are no enzymes to break down fiber. There are no enzymes to hydrolyze fiber, which means to break apart with water. So fiber is not digested in the human digestive tract.